Shri Sushil Chandra ji, Election Commissioner, Rajiv Kumar ji, Election Commissioner, in charge of Kerala from ECI, we have a joint secretary level officer for every state. For Kerala, it's Mr. Sudeep Jain. CEO, Mr. Tikaram Shefali ji, our joint secretary, who looks after the communications, media, etc. We came here day before, and as is we had come from Puducherry we came to Chennai, and from Chennai we came to Trivandrum. As is the norm with the commission, we started with a interactive meeting with the political parties. And after the meeting of political parties, actually prior to that, the new CS and DGP, the CS, Mr. Vishwas Mehta, along with the DGP, because DGP had to cover the PM's rally, so they had also come to pay a courtesy call to the commission. And then we started with political parties. After political parties, we had a very in-depth meeting with the collectors, SPs, police commissioners, and other senior police officers. That ended in the night. It took 5-6 hours for that meeting, understandably so. Then today we conducted a meeting with the central and state enforcement agencies, enforcement and regulatory agencies, after which we sat with the Chief Secretary, the incoming Chief Secretary, and senior officers of the state administration. And finally, wherever commission goes, we come to the media, another most important component, pillar of democracy, to A, to brief them, B, to try and kind of reply to their queries and questions. The term of State Assembly in Kerala is due to expire on 1st June 2021. Elections are due for 140 ACs, 124 general ACs, 14 SC and 2 ST ACs. Kerala elections have consistently seen a high voter participation, be it in a state assembly, 2016 elections 77.35, Lok Sabha elections 77.67%. This is obviously thanks to the very high literacy rate of Kerala and the very high levels of general awareness. Commission, as mandated by the Constitution of India, is committed to conduct the forthcoming elections in a free, fair, peaceful, accessible, ethical, inducement-free, and COVID-safe elections. We can't help the prevalence of COVID, that is for the state government, but whatever precautions are to be required for this, including social distancing norms, etc., that we'll do. That have already been, that I'll come more, elaborate more later. At the same time, Commission always endeavors to ensure the participation of new voters, women, persons with disabilities, and senior citizens. As you are all aware, during the pandemic period of 2020, when it was at peak in most other parts of the country, low in Kerala, Commission successfully conducted elections in Bihar Assembly. It was a very difficult exercise. The population of Bihar is almost more than double of the population of Kerala. We had 70,000 polling booths. We created 33,000 more Those are what we call auxiliary polling stations in the context of social distancing norms. Just like in Kerala, we have 25,000 existing polling booths. Round off karke bata raha hu. And we have created 15,000 more, which means 40,000 now. Auxiliary polling stations have already been, the CEO and the DMs, they're working on that. Actually, before we conducted the elections in Bihar Assembly, we did a bit of test the grounds with Rajya Sabha elections to some these legislative councils. Of course, there's a limited electorate there, but that was our way of kind of testing the waters and then going for a much bigger election. While announcing Bihar elections, I said into the press that this is for commission it is not a leap in the dark, but a leap of faith. It was not said as some kind of aphorism. Our officers, senior officers, Umesh Sinha ji, who is not here, Secretary General, and Chandrabhushan, who is in charge of Bihar, they had very intensively gone into all aspects of elections. And only then, when we were satisfied, and that too after our 2-day visit there, just like we are here, that yes, we can hold the elections. And I must tell you, friends, that the administration of Bihar, they really rose to the occasion. Just as we are very hopeful that the administration of Kerala shall rise to the occasion, because Kerala always had very sound administrative traditions. And despite the fact that at least 3 district magistrates themselves had COVID, but they rejoined their duties and conducted the elections. 1 divisional commissioner had COVID. She continued to work after getting, when she got cured, luckily before the elections. 1 IGP, field IGP, unfortunately passed away due to COVID and other comorbidities. Despite that, the turnover of Bihar, it's lower than Kerala, of course, but it was higher than the last assembly elections there and slightly higher than the last Lok Sabha elections. When we talk to the political parties, I will give you the main concerns raised by them. Cutting across the party lines, the political parties, the representatives asked the Commission to schedule the assembly election dates, keeping in view the local festival dates of Easter, Vishu, Ramadan, coming up in April. We told them that in fact, Commission takes all these factors into account while deciding the dates, the local sensitivities, the local festivals, and all other assorted features, the exams of the students. For example, our Secretary General, Mr. Sinha, had a series of meetings with the chairman of CBSE and conveyed the concerns of Commission in terms of as to when the life of assembly ends, and then how do we optimally get the schools and other buildings, etc. And I am glad to report to you that CBSE they gave due heed to our concerns while announcing the dates of exam. Given COVID concerns, most party representatives voiced concern about campaign norms, mass gatherings, specific voting arrangements, and asked that the postal ballot procedures should be monitored and implemented with due diligence. Some party representatives requested the Commission to take stringent, effective steps to curb abuse of money power in the coming elections. Commission has zero tolerance towards this, and in my prefatory remarks, I specifically use the word inducement free. It is with this particular aim in view, objective in view, that Commission has a meeting with the central as well as state regulatory and enforcement agencies. Today also we had this meeting. Some representatives appreciated the efforts made by the Commission to reach out to the voters, especially facilitation through postal ballots for 80 plus and PWD voters. By the way, 80 plus and PWD voters have the option of coming to the polling booth. It's not that that option is foreclosed. It is only that due to some physical disability or due to some possible issues of moving, etc. smoothly, they can avail of postal ballot. This has not been done for Kerala. This was done earlier for Delhi. It has been done for Bihar, and we got overwhelming response there. One political party pointed out that fees being charged at Akshaya centers for enrollment of new voters, they should not charge any fee, any charges, etc. We have brought it to the notice of Chief Secretary in this meeting from where we are coming to you. And let's see in the next 2-3 days what is the outcome. Some party representatives expressed concerns about social media misuse and desired that effective steps be taken to punish those vitiating the election atmosphere. They also pointed out that some media houses present biased coverage. As far as social media is concerned, you see, the regulatory regime in Germany is very much in place. In UK, it's kind of getting in place. In India, so far, there is no effective regulatory regime in that sense. But I also want to report to you that before the Lok Sabha elections of 2019, our officers had a very detailed talk, couple of rounds of talks with the organizations of social media, their apex bodies, their associations, and they gave a voluntary code of ethics. I would request Mr. Tikaram Meena to kindly distribute a copy of that voluntary code of ethics to all the media people present here. And that code of ethics is not just for the Lok Sabha, it's relevant for, it's applicable now for Kerala also. So that's why I'm saying that. But despite that, if there are aberrations, especially things like some such news which stokes the communal flare-ups, etc., we shall come down with a very heavy hand and not desist from taking the most stringent action, whether under IT Act, IPC, or both, as required. Some party representatives pointed out security concerns in the North Kerala district and talked about vulnerable places there. We are aware of the MHA list of 3 districts here which are still kind of in a vulnerable zone, and we are making special arrangements and additional forces for that. Having said this, and having partly briefed you alongside their concerns as to what we are doing, scheduling, I have already mentioned that we will take into account all the concerns, but you will also appreciate that while taking into account the concerns of political parties, the local festivals and other things, we also have to balance this with the availability of the central forces, because central forces, maybe some battalions might be coming from northeast and some may be coming from other states of west. So we have to see all these things. Our Secretary General and others who are tasked with the administration and planning of elections, they have had a series of meetings with the senior officials of Home Department, and we also have had a meeting with the Union Home Secretary, and we are trying to juxtapose and balance and harmonize the concerns of the parties, the local sensitivities due to festivals, and the availability of central forces. The Commission would like to announce that the Malappuram Parliamentary Constituency election shall be held simultaneously along with general elections to the Assembly. Keeping in view the COVID social distancing norms, the Commission has specifically revisited some extant norms. By the way, much before the Bihar elections, Commission had issued a set of COVID guidelines based on the opinion and inputs from experts. But we had also told the states that they can make some local adjustments as per their own milieu and requirements. For example, in Kerala, the population density is so high that maybe all states have different issues and different problems, and the CEOs are free to kind of make titrations while overall sticking to that broad paradigm. That is why as I told you earlier, the number of voters per booth, as it has been reduced from 1,500 to 1,000 in view of these COVID norms, and now we will have 40,077 polling stations. COVID-19 positive patients as well as COVID suspects who are quarantined will be able to cast their vote at the last hour of the polling day at their respective polling stations under the supervision of health authorities. And we have already decided to enhance the voting hours in Kerala also for 1 hour. Mr. Sudeep Jain and CEO will further discuss the fine-tune these issues. And when we announce the elections in Delhi before your colleagues, we will also announce the hours which will be applicable to Kerala, just as we will announce the hours for Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, and all these states, West Bengal and Assam. We are very particular on the fact that all, as I said earlier also, that all polling stations, including auxiliary polling stations, should be on the ground floor. In fact, in Mumbai, during Maharashtra elections, we made sure that more than 3,000 polling booths which are on the first floor, they are all brought down to the ground floor level, because this is very important from the point of view of elderly people, and especially far more important from the point of view of persons with disability. Nodal health officers have been appointed at the state, district, constituency level to oversee all COVID-19 related arrangements and preventive measures during the electoral process. In addition to the existing practice of submitting nomination papers by candidates in offline mode, nomination form and affidavit can also be filled up online and print out submitted to the RO. Besides, security money can also be deposited through online mode. Candidates can also seek electoral certification digitally. The number of persons accompanying a candidate for submission of nomination has been restricted to 2. Number of vehicles shall be restricted to 2. Door-to-door campaigning will be restricted to 5 persons. Road shows with 5 vehicles are allowed, subject to the convoy being broken after every half an hour. The DEOs have been asked to identify the grounds and halls district-wise which are available for the meeting. I would reiterate the Commission's earlier request to the CEO, Shri Meena, that whatever final identification has been done by the DEOs should be published in the local as well as in the state newspapers, so that all of you are aware, the citizens are aware, that these are the grounds and these are the halls available. On the recommendations of the Election Commission of India, Union Health Ministry has issued orders on 8th February 2021 that all election employees and officials and employees will be treated online as frontline workers and shall be vaccinated for COVID-19 on priority, just as priorities are being given to some other sections. Polling teams and constituency teams will be given a COVID-19 kit. Today, in the meeting of Chief Secretary, the Commission took a special presentation from the Health Secretary of Kerala just to know what are the procurement levels, what will be the distribution chain, and how distribution shall be ensured, etc., etc. We were very satisfied with the response given by the Health Secretary in detail. And we have also told all concerned that the COVID kits, etc., have to be disposed of keeping biodegradable waste management norms through common biomedical waste treatment facilities. We were happy that the Health Secretary included this part also in his presentation on his own without our asking at that time. Taking note of the concerns about electoral rolls, Commission has asked political party members to bring specific ER issues of inclusion and deletion to the notice of CEO. And Shri Sudeep Jain has been told to be very closely in touch with the CEO on this matter on a day-to-day basis. And CEO has been directed to examine and resolve these issues at the earliest. Commission gives special priority, utmost priority to the purity of electoral rolls because electoral rolls are the brick and mortar of any electoral process. As we brace for the polls, the total number of electors in Kerala is 2.67 crore. Commission has already issued guidelines regarding postal ballots by absentee voters in the category of senior citizens, PWD electors, COVID-19 suspect or affected persons, and those who are charged with their duties in essential services. CU has been asked to identify the essential services of Kerala in consultation with the concerned officials and inform everybody well in advance. This is an optional facility and does not involve any postal department mailing kind of arrangement. All eligible electors will be given an application form by the BLOs who will then collect the filled in forms with elector's choice, whether he wants postal ballot, he or she wants postal ballot, or will come to the polling station to vote. As I said, Commission has zero tolerance on this money power, and we will make all-out efforts to ensure that all those elements who get engaged in this kind of activity, be they from any outfit, are dealt with immediately, ruthlessly, swiftly, as per the law of the land. Commission you all must be aware that Commission had introduced a C-Vigil app, maybe almost 2 years now. It was also tried all over India in the Lok Sabha elections. Initially, it was a pilot project which was started in Bangalore, then Delhi, and then we introduced it in the Lok Sabha elections to the entire country. This is an app which empowers the citizens. If you want to give your name, you shall be given a response immediately by name. If you don't want to give your name fearing some local retribution, the response will be in the newspapers. As far as the CAPF requirement, a major change has been made by the Commission recently because wherever we go, we come to know from the political parties, especially those who are not the ruling parties, all the places, that the local officials, we can't say which is right or wrong, but the inference they try to make is that the local administration deploys and police in the way they like, including CAPFs. So now Commission has issued an order saying that, I'll read out the order to you. In order to ensure optimum and effective utilization of state police officials and CAPF, Commission has directed and decided that Committee of the Chief Electoral Officer, State Police Nodal Officer and CAPF Coordinator shall jointly decide the election security plan of the poll-going state and ensure the randomization of police and CAPF personnel. This committee will periodically and frequently meet and monitor the deployment and ensure effective and optimum utilization of police and security forces. They will also oversee the arrangements made for security forces. This was the direction issued on behalf of the Commission by one of the Commission officials on 8th February. Having said that, I would, social media have already covered, and Commission has also decided that in these elections, bona fide mistakes can happen by anybody. That we always try to kind of give protection to such officers. But if we find any instance of malified partisanship, not on an anecdotal basis, but with some concrete evidence, we shall not hesitate and we shall not stop at just transferring that person. We will make sure that within the MCC period, that official is charge-sheeted, suspended, so that even if after the election period also, there is a legal process which has to be gone through for that official to come out of that issue. But as I said earlier, any bona fide errors at any level, we will try and give the backing of the Commission, because bona fide error can happen with anybody, from anybody. Commission has always considered media to be a very important stakeholder. You would recall that during Bihar elections, our officials briefed the press 5 times in a single day, right till 12 o'clock, in order to, this was besides the fact that everything was available on the websites of ECI and Bihar state website, but the idea was to ensure that the information to the media is available on a real-time basis. We shall also make sure that the observers we send here, their phone numbers and email numbers are published in the local papers, and it is mentioned where they are staying and where they are going to meet the members of public, including media of course, to raise any concerns from this hour to this hour, at least 1.5 to 2 hours every single day. And if required, we shall send special observers to maintain an extra vigil on expenditure, as we are doing at some other places, strictly as per the requirement.